know you guys know, but.
Good evening. Welcome to the Select Board meeting. It's Friday, September 26th at 7 p.m. Let's stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number one, discussion about the special town meeting and warrant process. And speaking to Lori on Thursday, she thought that we could easily push this town meeting off until the springtime. She said the funds that, and I thought it was really necessary to do with the insurance monies, the deficit for the health care. So she said there's plenty of money to cover that until the spring and maybe even get us to the annual town meeting. So based on that, I'm not necessarily in favor of having the special town meeting in November, but I'd like to hear what you guys' thoughts are.
What about the prior year bills?
She did say there was a couple of them. It's not an absorbent amount of money. She said they could wait. One of the more expensive ones was Casella, and she said that we've been in a situation before and they've
Waited the year.
and not without even any,
Blinken.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And she said that was the biggest one. The others were pretty insignificant.
So, I mean, not having it before we set the tax rate isn't the worst thing in the whole wide world. If we decide we can't make it to town meeting, we can always have like a February or March special. It's
I
nothing
think that
would,
would be more, I would be in favor of that rather than
Yeah.
November.
yeah. So why don't we do that? Is that like, I'm not sure we'll make it all the way to June. I'd like to have
Right.
the conversation with Lori as well, and understand what that would look like, but I'm willing to table it for now.
Okay. How about you, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
So should we take a vote on that then? Or?
I'll make a motion that we,
Postpone?
postpone any special town meeting until after the setting of the tax rate.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Discussion regarding the transfer station. I ended up meeting with Kyle and Maureen at the transfer station the other day. We're having a lot of problems with getting the separation for a firewall for the brush that's being collected there. So we're having a hard time with the DEP new regs. So we had to clean it out a couple times. There's another inspection coming, I believe, this week. So we made a quick decision, the three of us, to make a new designated area because Greg Afton is getting a lot of pushback from the residents where the brush, whether it can be left at the transfer station, whether it can't be, and it's just been a lot of discussion going back and forth. So we have a new designated area that meets and keeps us in compliance. So I just wanted to bring the board up to speed on that.
Okay, but my understanding is there's already been some issues with people who are using the brush pile, dropping household trash there as well.
So I think that's a little confusing. So there has been some debris left at the Herbert Road pit, and we do have a policy on that. So I was speaking to Dennis Clark one day, and after I left Dennis, I went and saw Karen, and she actually supplied us with a policy that was in fact, I believe, from 2010. So the plan now is for Kyle to allow the brush to stay at the transfer station. The residents dump it there. No one has access to the Herbert Road pit location. just so we don't have to put a person down at the Herbert Road location, it's better, we have monitors at the transfer station.
Okay, so maybe I don't understand. I thought you said that we were going to allow brush to go to the Herbert Road location.
The brush that's going to Herbert Road is going to be transferred from the transfer station by our highway superintendent and to the Herbert Road location.
Okay.
So sorry if I wasn't
So
clear.
like on a day, so like.
A
like
monthly basis.
On a monthly basis? Okay.
So,
And is that sufficient to meet the new DEP?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
As
So
long
I
as it
guess
doesn't
what
hit a certain
started
height.
this, there was a sizable brush fire in Leominster,
Okay.
I think in the early part of this year or last year, and as a result, the DEP came out and they designated, they wanted a 15-foot area all the way around as a firewall, and so the only way we could do that is by moving the brush pile barriers where it is to almost 180 degrees from where it is.
Oh, move it to the
Yeah.
other side of
Yeah,
where it's at?
yeah.
Oh, and away from the leaves and grass
Yes,
clippings?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, the leaves and grass clippings can still be in that area as well, but they'll be removed once a month also.
Okay.
Come on up, Bruce.
I have a couple of questions about the brush after it's brought to Herbert Road. The water department spent money 2 times that I recall cleaning up that Herbert Road property. There was tires and stuff. I'm not saying you're bringing tires there, but we fall under the orders of DEP to keep our Zone 2 clean. What is the procedure for the brush once it ends up on Herbert Road? What's the, I guess if you're worried about a brush fire at the transfer station, why wouldn't you worry about a brush fire at Herbert Road?
Because we can get the separation where the brush is. It just has to be 15 feet from a wooded area.
Okay. And we all know that property is in the town of East Brookfield. And we all know it's in a floodplain. Herbert Road.
I don't know what elevation. I'm sure there are portions of it that are clearly floodplain, some of it, you know, the whole thing maybe. I don't know where the high water mark is there.
Yeah. 90% of it's in the floodplain. We're doing a teeter-totter with what the town has done there in the past right now with Water Department DEP. I just would hate to see this escalate, that's all.
So just so you know, so the policy going back 15 years, basically, I don't necessarily agree with it, and I'm hoping we don't have to totally follow this policy, but basically it talks about during the heavy brush season, having a member from the highway department stationed at Herbert Road to monitor what's there.
I can't vaguely remember it, I do. Yeah.
So I thought it was a much safer way to handle it was for the highway department be the only ones on Herbert Road, not sending residents
I'm not
there.
disagreeing,
Okay.
but what I'm saying is, what do we ultimately do with the brush? Herb used to burn it every so often.
Well, that's what the policy says, is to go ahead and burn it on a regular basis during the burn season,
Right.
after getting the appropriate
Don't
permits.
think it's
Highway
happened.
Superintendent will burn brush at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think it's
I
happened.
think that's something, I can have a conversation with Kyle about it, because we can.
Well, of course it hasn't happened with him, you know,
Was it-
right?
Well, no, well, absolutely. Well, that's why I'm saying, in his case, he wouldn't be aware that that's how we've historically have dealt with it.
I did make sure Kyle got a copy of
Okay,
this, so
yeah.
that he's aware.
Yeah,
So there are-
because he and I had talked some
there are
about
no-
some of the challenges they had had when we opened up Herbert Road.
There are no
People-
private keys to that gate? I would suggest you change
I-
padlocks.
I think the locks have been changed again, and I've asked Kyle to keep it locked from here on out
Right,
after a
but that
discussion
doesn't-
with Dennis.
That doesn't eliminate private keys.
Well, if he changed the locks and didn't issue additional
Yeah,
private
I-
keys, then it shouldn't be an issue, so.
So
And when you were down there, was there some type of ground, water evaluation you were doing or something, trying to figure out where the
What I
elevations
did?
were? Yeah.
no, I don't have the ability to set a high water mark or know where it is. I mean, that would have to be done either by a surveyor or an engineer. But I went down there and I met Greg Root from the DEP, he came down, he did an evaluation. He said that it's compliant. He said he's going to start us with a small plan so that we can compost. And so when I went there, I brought an excavator there. I tried separating a lot of the brush from the dirt that was piled, and I crushed it with the excavator and made a couple different piles so that I figured once that brush got crushed up, it would start to decompose quicker.
And we did grind all that stuff one year, but that was paid for out of a storm money we had. We had some
Yeah.
big storm event.
Yeah, it was probably the ice storm.
And we brought a tub grinder in and ground it all up.
So I'm trying to save from doing that. If we can compost it and make a product and have it
So
go back
there's
to
gonna
the
be
So
resident.
the other thing is actually if we compost the clippings, burn the brush, the ash can actually get mixed in with the compost, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm sure it could, but I don't know how we would actually burn that. If it was being burned legally, it may have, but it seems odd to me that that was a legal process.
Oh, it's 100% legal. It's 100%
Yeah.
legal. You just-
Absolutely not.
What are you talking
Well,
about?
what?
It's a commercial burn at that point. You
Well-
can't burn commercially.
Yeah, I mean, that used to burn for almost a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking
Well, if you
big
did it
burn.
regular enough, you
big
could
burn.
keep
Anyway,
it from being
so,
that big.
so DEP is establishing some type of
Yeah, so I
protocol
spoke,
for the property. That's good.
yeah, so I spoke with Greg Root, and I also have spoke with the section chief, Jim McQuaid, regarding both,
Good.
so,
Thank you.
all right. Anything else? All right. Update on Gay Road. I don't really have anything. I have not spoke to Jim Pioppi since he started there.
Okay, I just know what Kyle has told me about how
Okay.
that Jim had, that functionally it's been fully handed over to the vendor at this point, and that while he's still in contact with them and overseeing it, that they're the ones driving the schedule at this point, so.
Okay. So Brenda put a ad on Facebook on our community page. I asked Steve to put a couple ads out there on our Brookfield page, and Beth Olison put an ad on, which page was that, Steve?
The official town Facebook.
Official town, okay. And then Michael Siri sent out a reverse 911 call that basically the road's going to be a hard close for Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p. It was stated that it was going to be paved, I believe. That was a mistake. It is not going to be paved, so I don't want the residents to be terribly upset when they...
Disappointed. Is he going to put out another call or no?
I don't think so. So, but we tried to notify every way we possibly could to make sure that this gets out in public, so.
When Mike sent out in reverse, did he say it was gonna be paved?
That's the feedback back to me. I did not get that reverse call, so I think there'll be some disappointment there, but it's just part of the process that it's, so.
I also spoke with Rebecca Ruffley from the grant processing standpoint, and she is on board. She has all the expense reports and portal access that she needs for that, and she is working hand in glove with Katie on all those expenses and payroll especially as they come in. So
Okay.
we're in good shape
So
there.
she's getting it caught up?
Yes, yeah, she's getting it caught up, so we should be in good shape, and we think we'll easily make the September 30th, which I think is October 15th, is the deadline for reporting for the third quarter.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion on Gay Road? Nope. All right. Number 5, I'll like to have a motion to enter an executive session.
Okay, I make a motion that we enter into executive session pursuant to general law, what is that? Chapter 30A, Section 21A1, to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than the professional competence of an individual, or discuss the discipline, dismissal of, or complaints or charges against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual, and not to reconvene into open session.
Second.
All in favor?
Coughlin, aye.
Chafee, aye.
Jambalaya.